Okay, number 21. Pedagogy is a Greek word which literally means A, to understand the child, B, to guide the child, C, to educate the child, and D, to lead the child. The correct answer is letter D, to lead the child. Again, pedagogy is a Greek word which literally means to lead the child. The correct pronunciation is not pedagogy, but pedagogy. Okay, it says the concise Encarta 2001 reflects the same definitions, though it too reminds us that the Greek pedagogus was a slave who leads a child to school. So pedagogy is a Greek word which literally means to lead the child. Number 22. In Loreto Parasulit's short story, The Bolo, what is being treasured by the main character? A, their wedding ring. B, their house and lot. C, the bolo that was given to her by her husband. D, the sword that her husband bought from Spain. Okay, the correct answer is letter B, the bolo that was given to her by her husband. Again, in Loreto Parasulit's short story, The Bolo, what is being treasured by the main character? The correct answer is the bolo that was given to her by her husband. Who Loreto Parasulit was a Filipino writer, best known for her English language short stories. The Bolo by Loreto Parasulit illustrates the struggle between modernism and tradition. The Bolo represents tradition and the myth instilling such tradition. Written in 1927, it can be a reflection on whether we should subscribe to the foreign colonial culture of the United States or to struggle for the preservation of Filipino native culture. Okay, number 23. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. When these words of Martin Luther King Jr. strike a chord with the Rohingyas of Western Myanmar, the Kurds of Turkey and Syria, the Bajaus of Southern Philippines, and the Romas of Europe, then the whole speech is said to possess the value of A, spirituality, B, intelligence, C, universality, and D, suggestiveness. The correct answer is universality. So we have the 7 literary standards. What makes literature literature? So we have the 7 standards, and these are permanence, artistry, suggestiveness, universality, spiritual value, intellectual value, and style. Universality, it means literature appeals to everyone. So these words by Luther, an American, an American civil rights leader, strike a chord. It says here, strikes a chord with the Rohingyas of Western Myanmar, even though these words were uttered by somebody from the United States, but these words strike a chord with the Rohingyas of Western Myanmar, the Kurds of Turkey and Syria, and the Bajaus of Southern Philippines. Then this piece of literature possesses the value of universality, because universality appeals to everyone, regardless of culture, race, sex, and time, which are all considered significant. Now let's go to question number 24. A well-known quote goes, "A thing of beauty is a blank forever. A, joy forever. B, dream forever. C, treasure forever. D, source of pride forever. The correct answer is a thing of beauty is a joy forever by John Keats, from lifted from his poem Endymion. Next, number 25, Skinner's behaviorist theory of language development regards blank as the most important contributor to the child's learning of language. A, imitation and reinforcement by parents. B, observational learning. C, innate or inherited neural structures. D, interaction with peers. The correct answer is letter A, imitation and reinforcement by parents. Skinner's behaviorist theory of language development regards imitation of and reinforcement by parents as the most important contributor to the child's learning of language. B.F. Skinner proposed that language, like behavior, is learned through operant conditioning by reinforcement and by relying on imitation. So imitation, letter A, choice A, imitation and reinforcement by parents. Now let's go to question number 26. What does the following say about life? Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets and is heard no more. A, life is eternal. B, life is passing. C, life goes through stages. D, life has its end. Again, life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets and is heard no more. The correct answer is life is passing. This is a quote from Macbeth, one of the tragedies of William Shakespeare. Life's but a walking shadow. Think about the implication of this. Shadows are short-lived and dependent on where the light source is and how bright it burns. Life is a shadow dependent on a fickle light. It means it's not permanent, no, it's passing. A player, life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets. A player was an actor in Shakespeare's time. It's another reference to how brief life is. Life is an actor who does his thing on stage and gets off. It takes a couple hours, then the play is over. So, life is passing. Letter B. Okay, question number 27. Which characteristic is not common to classical mythology heroes? A, extraordinary birth. B, extraordinary ambition. C, extraordinary courage. D, extraordinary self-control. The correct answer is extraordinary self-control. Most of the classical mythology heroes do not have extraordinary self-control. They easily get angry and they are swept by their emotions easily. For example, Hercules or Heracles is popular for his incredible strength and bravery, but he lacks intelligence and self-control. Easily angered, his sudden outbursts of rage often harm innocent bystanders. We have another one. Remember the Iliad, which focuses on the wrath or anger of Achilles? He kills and mutilates Hector in a state of beast-like rage that only subsides when Priam comes to ask for his son's body. So the story of Iliad centers or revolves around the anger of Achilles. So most of the classical mythology heroes do not have self-control. Question number 28. Many a man blank to be rich and famous. A, desires. B, desiring. C, is desiring. D, desire. The correct answer is many a man desires to be rich and famous. Both many and many a convey the same meaning. that is a large number of. Many a school or many schools, they mean the same. The only difference is that many is used with countable plural nouns. So many schools, followed by plural verb. Many schools are, plural verbs. Many men are. While many a is followed by a singular countable noun. Many a man, singular countable noun, a man, and takes a singular verb, is. Many a man is. Many a man desires. So letter A. The fixed expression many a or many an is more formal than the single word many, and it is much less common. Many a or many an is used mainly in literary writing and newspapers. It is used to indicate a large number of something. However, it takes a singular noun which can be followed by a singular verb. So many a man desires. Now let's go to question number 29. Which is not one of the factors that must be considered in identifying the effectiveness of a particular text? Okay, identifying the effectiveness of a particular text. A text is composed of paragraphs, right? A, organization. B, mechanics. C, word origin or etymology. And D, language use. The correct answer is word origin. It's not one, etymology or word origin is not one of the factors that must be considered in identifying the effectiveness of a particular text. Organization, that's letter A. Mechanics, letter B. And language use, letter C. They have something to do with a text. A text is a piece of writing composed of paragraphs. And word origin or etymology, that's option C, concerns only with a single word. So the question here is a text. Now let's go to number 30. A man is known by the company he keeps. This is an example of a rule, B, a report, C, a proverb, D, a poem. The correct answer is a proverb. A man is known by the company he keeps. What is a proverb? A proverb is a short, memorable, and often highly condensed saying, embodying, especially with bold imagery, some commonplace fact of experience. A proverb is often metaphorical. It means symbolic and showing some truth about a situation or an object.